from Toronto, Danforth.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question to the Deputy Premier. The Minister of the Environment and Climate Change promised to clean up the English Wabigoon River system to the satisfaction of the Chief and to the health of the people. But the Premier won't start the work because she claims the science isn't in. Scientists say, quote, "the fear is needless," and, quote, "we think and other scientists think these cleanup methods are benign and won't cause any damage to the ecosystem." Speaker, my question to the acting Premier, will you listen to the science and start the cleanup of the English Wabigoon River system?
Thank you. Deputy Premier.
Minister of Environment and Climate Change.
Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I had a private conversation the other day with the member opposite to explain in some detail what's going on. And let me just reiterate. Dr. Rudd was funded by the Ministry of Environment through the First Nation to undertake the study. The study, Mr. Speaker, I have in my hand. The study asked for about $600,000 worth of very specific work outlined in Chapter 7, which is being done right now. The agreement, which is now concluded, and we expect to have it signed by the Chief any day now, that hasn't held the money up from signing, is to present these options and the risks of the different types of interventions that Dr. Rudd asked for.
Answer.
That will be finished by June. It will be presented to the community, and the community will make the choices of which interventions they want to do.
Supplementary.
Well, Speaker, I'm glad that matter was raised. I'll go back to the Deputy Premier. Dr. John Rudd, whose research and recommendations are what this government has to go on, says the cleanup can safely get underway today. But the money, $300,000, this government says it's invested in field work, hasn't arrived. My question, will the acting Premier tell this House on the record how much of that $300,000 has actually been released?
Minister.
This partnership, under the agreement of the political accord between First Nations and the government, requires that we cannot spend or act in a First Nation without the consent and agreement. We have had 3 meetings now on the political committee that Minister Zimmer and I sit on with the Chief. The agreement now is finalized. It is literally rating 1 signature. The First Nations negotiated in good faith. We think that the agreement is solid. I have asked for an immediate meeting with Dr. Rudd because in his report, he advised caution and specific measures to be taken. If he is now of the view that this can move ahead more quickly, we will not hesitate to advance the agenda. The only reason we haven't advanced the agenda more quickly is because we have to finalize the agreement with the First Nation. Money has already been flowing to cover their bills, and we've been taking Dr. Rudd's advice.
Final supplementary.
Well, Speaker, notwithstanding that, I thought we would actually get the number. However, I'll go on to my next question. Deputy Premier, as you well know, enough is enough. When will this Liberal government start the cleanup of the Grassy Narrows area so that the fish are safe to eat?
Thank you. Minister.
So, if the member opposite would like the number, we have received $20,000 in bills from the First Nation, which have been paid in full. I have not received a single bill or cost yet from any of the research teams, which are actually out there working right now. If we did, we'd advance the money. As of this last couple of days, what I think we now have, we're just waiting for 1 signature, all of that money will flow. The $300,000 that we are spending directly is already being flowing, so the vast majority of the money is either in play or being spent. What has to happen? What actions should we do? Should we do extraction? Should we do covering? Which of these should we do? I will say again, if Dr. Rudd's advice, who we have great respect for, and I could read through the 9 measures that he's recommended and the work plan that he wrote that we're actually following on a daily basis. If he wants to revise his advice, we will accept that advice.
Thank you.